Welcome to the Scene Snobs podcast.
What's going on, everybody? It's Tuesday night.
Good evening.
And it is the Scene Snobs podcast. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this live excursion, or if you're listening afterwards, we truly appreciate you. I'm, of course, your host, Mick Manhattan, the Scene Snob, joined, as always, with my partner in crime, Casey, the Madman Broad.
Well, thank you for that wonderful introduction. I appreciate it, buddy. It's wonderful to see you as always, my friend, and thank you so much for joining us this evening. Super excited for this show.
Absolutely, man. It's been kind of a crazy week, personally. I mean, it's only Tuesday, and it's already been a crazy week, so what does that tell you?
Yeah, well, how was the rest? How was your weekend, man? How was it?
You know what? All right, so actually, I'm glad you asked that. So we're getting into, well, AJ's here. I just want to pull, because it's pretty sweet of him. Finally, the Scene Snobs have come back to YouTube. Can you smell what the Scene Snobs are cooking? I love it. That's why I had to pull it up. Thank you, AJ. And we appreciate you jumping in tonight. Anybody who's here with us, please sound off in the comments and throw you up there. But we have some great topics lined up. But this weekend, as you asked, Case, was a nerve-wracking weekend. Now, I know it was for you, too. We're both parents. And our new governor here in the state of Virginia, on his literally being sworn in, or however they do it, I think they have to sacrifice 6 virgins, and and then they drink the blood of goats.
Probably a goat.
Black Phillip is there saying, "Hey, I've granted all your wishes."
There was a shaman and all kinds of shit.
I think his name is Governor Pumpkin. And that's, or something like that, or Governor Younglings, so
Governor Younglings,
young guns,
Young Guns, man, it's Governor Young Guns, brother,
Emilio,
him and all of his pals.
I will say though, he immediately signed an executive order ending the school mask mandate, and now, being where we are, it's a lot of parents are happy about it, and a lot of parents are scared of it. I mean, we're in the midst of everything, and it's tough. And I don't want to get into the politics of it, but I will tell you, from the standpoint of being a dad who has 2 kids going to school, my kids are okay with wearing the masks. They'll go, they'll do it, and good for them. I appreciate them, and if it really comes down to it, and this is what it is, and some parents are not going to make their kids wear masks, there's nothing I can do. I mean, all I can do is get my kids vaccinated. All I can do is make sure they wear their masks and go on from there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but the nerve-wracking part for me was there was a lot of threats, because the school boards here are saying, no, we're still going to enforce masks. And I do believe it's up to the schools, because you have so much faculty. You have faculty and teachers and everything else that are there doing their job and risking a lot.
They have their responsibility to their employees as much as anyone else.
Exactly. I mean, I think we've lost sight on caring about people in a lot of ways on a debate over a cloth, product. But my fear was there was a lot of threats at local school boards of parents saying, well, if you're going to do this, I'm going to show up and I'll bring every gun I have with me. One woman was arrested for it in one of the counties. Thankfully, not one of ours, but close enough, very close. Mm-hmm. And other parents were making threats like that at school board meetings too. And online, you see it on Facebook in the groups and stuff like that. So, not to bring everybody down, because this is called the Scene Snobs, and I'm talking way too long about this, but this weekend left me a little nerve-wracked on whether or not to bring my kids to school, because they were doing this thing called Mask Off Monday. And supposedly it was trying to gear up to be this big movement. It sounded very January 6th-ish, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. There was a website. I looked at the website and I'm like, what is this? This is insane. And so much more. So I was afraid to take my kids to school, which is the real travesty, in my opinion. How many parents are afraid to take their kids to school because of this? Mm-hmm. When you can talk about your freedom to choose what your kids wear or not, because that's what you're saying. You're not saying the kid's choice. You're saying the parent's choice. And then you're turning around and saying, yeah, but your freedom of, coming to school and being safe, the hell with that. And so I just wanted to say this. We got lucky on Monday. We got some snow. They closed the schools.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't have to worry about that. I took them in today. And I said, if I see any protesters, I'm rolling out. You're going to stay home today. There were none, thankfully. They were both in an elementary school, but I know there were some in other levels.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what I wanted to say over all of this, to my point for this is, what'd you think about that snow? We just didn't get enough.
Yeah, no, we have a very small amount. It was an odd dusting. It was like I stepped outside, Monday night thinking, all right, well, here we go. Get ready for it. And there was nothing. I mean, there was something. Woke up Tuesday, was like, well, good luck getting in. But it was fine. Not enough snow at all. Happy you went through all that.
Yeah, and you know what? One more thing, guys. And
strong
you.
weekend.
That's it. That's all I'm going to say. Fuck
Cool.
you.
All right. Let's
not you,
move
Casey.
on to other fun things.
Not you,
Holy
Casey.
shit.
Let's get into you please feel free to share your opinion. I love to hear it. But if you want to get into the fun things, I will.
Yeah, let's do that. Hi, Jason. I see Jason Taylor's in the comments there. Let's just move it right along, right outside of that terrible hot button issue that will just create problems one way or the other.
Listen, if they don't like me because I said it, come on, you know me well enough and long enough by now. I don't care who likes me or doesn't like me. I don't give a shit.
Precarious when we're trying to add people.
Well, I want to add good people. I want to add people who believe that human beings should have the right to live.
No, I mean, I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, me and my chaotic freedom belief, man. Everyone has the right to do whatever the hell they want to as long as it doesn't infringe other people's rights.
Exactly. And, the right to choose is very important, but it should go all ways. Anyway, I'm just touching down on hot button issue.
Just keep pressing every button. Oh, what else you got, buddy? It's
the perfect opener to what our first topic is tonight.
Is it? Is that what you call the perfect opener?
It's my irrational behavior. It's my irrational anger reaction to stupid shit that should not be this big of a problem. I can go on about a lot of stuff. A lot of issues, real hot button issues where I'm like, all right, I see the points on both sides. No, we're not going to politics, Jason.
No, Joe, you're literally starting again, Mick. Let's just move it along.
All right.
Come on, dude. Let's just go.
Quick call.
Come on.
All right, Casey. I asked you to do something earlier, and I know I asked you very impromptu. So I have a graphic. Of course, I did not give you time to do one. That was on me.
It's all right. It's all right. Why don't I go first since I'm graphicless?
Why did you vote for Youngling? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, everybody. I'm kidding. No. What is your dream cast for Fantastic Four in the MCU? I would love to hear your choices.
All right. So we'll talk about a derailing conversation. I was not ready for that. So
I wasn't either, but that's the joy of us. FYI, everybody, when I say Youngling, I mean this guy.
Yeah, that guy.
That's who I mean.
The one who gets murdered.
Get your heads
okay. So I went with a little bit of a different cast for my Fantastic Four. Good Jesus, I've got to retrain my whole brain now. I was.
Hey, you got to open strong, buddy.
Ever just stare at some red lights and have please just stop the train?
You were the deer in the headlights. We were not talking about this 5 minutes ago.
What kind of fucking intro are you coming off of? Holy shit, man.
Listen, if I'm not coming in hot, then I'm not coming in at all.
I mean, valid, but
this is your fault.
A little heads up, man. I wasn't ready for that rocket.
It's your fault, dude. This is all your fault.
What did I do this time?
I'll tell you exactly why, and you'll know it's your fault as soon as I say it. You got me into The Expanse. Yeah. And The Expanse mirrors so much in society that it pisses you off. It's a beautiful show.
And the politics of that show are absolutely right, because people stop caring about other people and they start seeing themselves tribally, which is what human beings do. We're social creatures, and unfortunately herd animals do that as a defense mechanism. It's just the way we're fucking wired.
So all weekend I've been watching The Expanse and hearing the news and getting pissed off and living in fear on certain things. And I'm just like, man, fuck it all. So when I get to, and I didn't do another live show I usually do on Sunday nights. So this is like where it all like pent up anger came in. And I was like, I'm flooding the gates.
Apparently, man. Like I feel like if anything, I would definitely want to be a slingshotter in the belt. One of those dudes who just gets in those ships and just goes engineless around all the gravity wells and just flies right into stuff. That would be rad.
I don't know who I'd want to be yet. I'm still getting there, I think.
Oh yeah, it would be pretty amazing. I would just want to be a belter. That's all there is to it. What a great existence.
They're miserable.
No, it's fantastic. What are you talking about? It's great out there. Sounds like a blast.
Okay, where would you want to be a belter? Arrows? Because I'm feeling that's the first step of what happens to belters on this show.
Probably like Tycho Station. I would want to be on Tycho. Yeah, I'd want to be one of the workers on a decent middle of the route. No, not a Mormon. They're the ones who build the Mormon ship. Not that there's anything wrong with Mormon. I feel like we're stepping on lines. We're tap dancing here.
Well, no, now you got me all excited about The Expanse.
Because it's amazing. What episode are you on?
It's such a great show. I'm so glad to be on it.
It's one of the best. It's one of the best. And the fact that they go from having different characters and different actors, we've discussed this. I mean, Jay Hernandez, you see him come on screen out the gate, and you're like, oh, I can't wait for his role.
It completely threw me for a loop. They murdered this guy. I don't care if anybody's seen it. They murder this guy in a horrific way, and then the next episode, he's alive. And then you're like, oh, okay, he's coming back. I mean, this guy is a known star. You know, he's been in a lot of stuff. And I'm like, okay, so he survived. He's coming back. Never see him again. Gone. You never see this guy again. And you're like, and then Miller, you didn't prepare me for Miller. And I'm not going to give that one away, but you didn't prepare me for Miller and the beauty that was him. And he is coming back. So it scares me because it's like, is he going to come back for an episode and then just disappear forever? I don't know, because that's what they do.
It's The Expanse. Which I was gearing this entire thing towards an entirely different looking cast.
Okay.
Because I wanted to match kind of. Originally I was going to take the entire Expanse cast and just try to fold them in to my Fantastic Four.
That would work so well.
Wes Chatham is freaking Ben Grimm all day.
Yeah.
You know, Stephen Strait is Reed Richards. Dominic Tipper is Sue Storm. Like that's.
Although. Well, let's be real though. Holden is not a Reed Richards intellect.
I mean, that's the problem, is he's not. And then I was like, well, maybe I could like fold the Firefly family in there too and make Nathan Fillion maybe as a Reed Richards.
I would have liked Nathan Fillion as a Reed Richards years ago.
Yeah.
I couldn't see him fitting now.
Agreed.
I think he needs somebody.
So there's had to be some changes here. So I've had to have some alterations. So what I've come up with for my Fantastic Four selection is as follows. So starting with, let's go with Reed Richards. I have two choices, but I'm pretty sure I'm actually landing on Doug Jones.
For Reed Richards? Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I would love Doug Jones in that Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. Already a long, lanky guy.
Yeah.
Already got the look to him.
I don't see it. But I'm not saying I don't like it. I can't picture it right now.
That's fair. And then for Johnny Storm, I was going with someone very different. I was actually going, everyone's a little older in this one because I had a difficulty because I really like Michael B. Jordan, man. Like I really loved his portrayal.
But he was
Killmonger. I feel like he deserves a shot in a good movie.
But he was Killmonger.
That's the problem. That's why I was saying I got to find people who were not MCU. So it's been so difficult, this like tap dance moving of trying to figure out who's going to be where. So what I wind up going with is actually Sue Storm would be a tie. I still want Dominique Tipper. I still love her. I think she would be wonderful.
Dominique Tipper?
Naomi Nagata.
Oh, okay. That'd be cool. I like her.
I really dig that. I thought that was a fun look. Ben Grimm as Chad Coleman.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
so,
that.
Yeah, bigger dude, kind of, stronger, a little gruff, someone who's aged, who's been through the stuff already.
Kind of works because he's on Orville and he, like the prosthetics and stuff like that are similar in like.
Yeah, he would be able to handle that full body effect. And then for, let's see, Dr. Doom, I went with Idris Elba.
I mean, he can.
I think he would be amazing.
And domineering voice in that mask would be amazing.
Right? Wouldn't that be rad to have that be the Latvian coming out from under there? I had originally thought Luke Evans, but then I realized his voice just wouldn't hold it.
And you know what, dude? Good for you, man. You really went, you were very woke on your choices here. And I like that.
I just wanted to try something different. I'm so tired of the same old Fantastic Four, which I loved the first one. I loved Jessica Alba. I loved Ian Garfield, especially Ian Garfield. I think he nailed Reed Richards. He was just perfect for it. Michael Chiklis was a good thing. He was good.
For that movie. He wouldn't have worked anywhere else.
That's fair. That's fair. He worked very much so because of that movie style and the way it was done. And Chris Evans was a great Johnny Storm. So I almost want to bring him back, but of course he's capped, so you can't do that. That's not fun.
Or can you? Doctor Strange too.
Right? And because everyone's a little older, I kind of threw in Coleman Domingo as Johnny Storm.
Coleman Domingo? Who's Coleman Domingo?
He plays, he was in Fear the Walking Dead. He's one of the main actors there. Yeah, look him up real quick. He was in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Okay. Yeah.
He just hit with a flood of stuff like the last 2 years. He has been all over the place, and I love following that guy on Instagram. He's great. So I was excited with that selection, that choice. It was a very different cast, and all I did was grab people from my favorite shows that I love seeing on screen, and I was like, this is the movie I want to see. I want it to be older. I want it to be further along in the timeline because I want them to be from another Earth. So if they're going to be folded in, I think there's a lot of ways you can play with that.
I went a little bit different. And that is, there, I'll pull up for anybody who's watching, you'll see it, but I'm going to explain it for all you lovely listeners out there. Here's my cast, my dream cast, okay? And I would say Lakeith Stanfield is Mr. Fantastic. Now,
he'd be great.
What?
He'd be great.
Well, here's why I think he would be great, especially because in my idea is if you're gonna make him Mr. Fantastic now, he has to be an asshole. Now, Keith Stanfield can play a lovable asshole. He's done it before. He can also, he can just do anything. He's a great actor. But my point with him being Mr. Fantastic is he's young enough, but still old enough to kind of fit that in being introduced into the MCU. If he's also, he could play the part of, like I was saying, I think that if you're going to have Reed Richards in this, he's got to be an Elon Musk type of billionaire who creates things and puts things out in society, but his real passion is like space.
Yeah.
Which would lead to it. And in my connection here, Sue Storm, who I chose Rachel Brosnahan from Marvelous Miss Maisel to play Sue Storm, because she's tough. If you watch Miss Maisel and you watch other things she's been in, she can hold her own in a room full of guys.
And she's got a great delivery. Yeah, I really like the speed of that delivery that she has.
And later on, that's Sue Storm. That's who Sue Storm is. She's as tough as any of them. And,
Tougher,
I think that
that's why she shields everyone, because she's the tough one.
Yeah. And I think if she's working for Reed Richards, you can play it up here, maybe Unrequited Love from College, whatever, things like that. Or you can either have her work for Dr. Doom, who in my opinion is going to be like a Jeff Bezos type of billionaire who wants to desperately work with Reed Richards to kind of like work the kinks out of his space travel endeavors. And I have Timothy Olyphant playing him, kind of older, kind of needs the young hotshot genius to step in. And then when he gets his powers, his full confidence level goes up. He becomes the Doom that we know.
Right.
I have Jesse Plemons as Ben Grimm,
which I do like. I really like that pick. That's a great pick for Ben Grimm,
because I think he could play the dramatic side of everything Ben Grimm is going through. Not too comedically, but he can do comedic. But I see him as like a strong astronaut type that maybe works with Reed and he's his best friend. But I see Johnny Storm played by a young, like kind of close in age to Tom Holland, because I definitely want the best friend ship of Johnny Storm and Peter Parker to play out at some point. But I see him as being able to play that young hotshot, but he's a mentee to Ben Grimm as a pilot.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes into the fold in that way. And then, of course, I get their powers and so on and so forth. But that's why I chose who I chose.
I like it.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
I like
now,
it a lot.
make it happen. One of ours. You have to make it happen, Marvel.
Yeah, come on, Marvel. Like we need something different. Like just change it up. Give us something special. Give us something fun. We're tired of this junk.
It's true. Jace Taylor says Casey's mic covers too much of that beautiful face, and I do agree.
Thanks, buddy.
Radar says sorry about being a little late, but never a problem, my friend. Kathleen says hi. Heidi Ho neighbors. I'm going to go with that one, and then she goes hi, Jason.
Hi, Kathleen.
And AJ, this is a good pick. Chris Maloney would be an excellent season Doom. I could see it.
Yeah.
I could see him doing. He would have been a much better Doom than Nip Tuck guy.
Hey, whoa! He was fine.
He was not
fine. He was fine.
No,
leave that man alone. All right, he was great and Charmed.
Oh no, I'm not giving you that one.
Yes, you are. He was a demon who played on it for years.
I gave you Leo. That's it. You can have Leo.
Just gonna keep pecking.
Just the whole time, just like no.
And also, you know what? I'm gonna make an addendum. Even though I like the idea of the Coleman Domingo for the age sake, I think Yahya Abdul-Mateen would probably be better.
Yeah, he's such a good actor too, and they were both
so great, man. And I would like to see him play something fun rather than just be always sad or intense.
Or we can get really woke and make Johnny Storm, Janie Storm.
Oh, I thought about it because then in that scenario I would have gone with Sonequa Martin Green.
Okay.
Yeah, without question. I wanted originally for Sue Storm, but I was like,
I can't get behind your choices because you've chosen too many from the Walking Dead world.
Too many? I chose. Oh wow. Oh
yeah.
Oh no. Okay. Oh crap.
You went too hard into the Walking Dead.
I did, but Idris Elba balances it. It's fine. He takes it all back.
I don't know if he balances that. That's a lot of Walking Dead.
I think he balances it perfectly.
No, I'm not giving that. Who's going to play Herbie or Hermie or whatever his name is? Rick's kid? You're going to bring Rick's kid from Walking Dead. Who plays Franklin Richards?
No.
We're just going to keep going. What Walking Dead? Carol comes in. She's like, oh, I don't know. Ben's
going
mom.
Far.
What if Charlize Theron was playing variant Pepper Potts? Everyone's saying she's playing Clea. Imagining her and Tom Cruise on screen. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, Doctor Strange 2 right now, all the rumors are huge.
Oh, man, there's a ton of them. And I'm sure we're going to be touching down on that on Sunday night.
Yeah. We're definitely going to touch down on that in Geek Fest. So make sure you guys check that out. It will be back Sunday night at 10 p.m. so you guys can come in and check it out. All right, Case. Here's the deal. I didn't tell you something I did this weekend.
Oh, no. Well, why? Because you got busy on a rant.
I did. I'm going on another one. So I'm driving to, I think it was Sunday morning. It might have been Saturday morning. Driving to go get a coffee. And I'm going and whatever, I got to drive through the country roads and whatnot till you get to the city limits. Well, once I get to the city limits, I have this car in front of me, this Jeep. And it's just going too slow. It's like one of those drivers who, you're like, she or he or whoever's driving is ready to turn at any moment, but doesn't know where.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, you're infuriating me because you keep like getting over in my lane, like without putting on a thing last minute, cutting me off and like all that and just driving way too slow.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me really mad.
Yeah.
Really, really angry, like irrational reaction angry. And here's the thing.
Like throwing your drink at a teenager angry?
Did I do that?
No, but there was a video recently that came out of a Merrill Lynch guy in the news this past weekend who threw his drink, just started full on screaming at this person, like poor kid.
I was like, I can't imagine me doing that, like just assaulting somebody, but like I'm like, did I do that or
But
something?
the fact
But
you
like,
had to ask that means there was a point in your life when you blacked out enough of whatever from whatever to go, oh, I could have.
I mean, they would have to really wrong me to be able to do that. And it's not like I'm throwing at random teenagers, but I'm just like, did I do this? And it wouldn't have been like a young teenager. It would have been like adult age teenager.
Yeah, one of those 30-year-old teenagers.
Yeah, one of those, no, 18 or 19. Like little whippersnappers, but like of age. No, I'm just kidding, by the way, everybody. I don't mind irrational reactions, but here's my irrational reaction.
You don't need to kill younglings.
I'm assuming it's a woman based off of the bumper sticker.
Mm-hmm.
It was said a bumper sticker that said "girl boss," and another bumper sticker that said "buy fresh, buy local." And because I was so angry, my irrational reaction of anger was, I hate girl bosses and small businesses now. And like, not really. I just want to put that out there for anybody watching or listening. I don't actually hate those things, but I was so mad at those things. I'm like, girl bosses who buy local, how dare you do this to me?
You sons of bitches.
I mean, my wife is a girl boss. So like, I don't hate girl bosses.
No, I get it, man. Look, I'm a guy who literally owns a coexist sticker. And yet if someone driving has a coexist sticker and they do something really dumb, like cars are where my irrational anger just takes over. Because I can be that irrationally angry. I can just get it out. Like, especially if I had a workout, like I can just unleash that fury that right there in that moment. Yeah. So yeah, a coexist sticker will just make me angry and just get expletives thrown at every single, like, no, what if I don't want to like anybody? I'm going to hate everybody now. So I completely understand. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, that's the thing though. Like I got so angry that I'm screaming. Like, I'm the type of guy who gets mad and he's just like, get out of the way. I hate you. Where's Frank Castle when you need him?
Oh, I've been on a road trip with you. I'm aware.
Yeah, like, I just can't take your bad driving, man.
I can't deal with it with anybody with a NASCAR sticker, especially if they have a racing number sticker on their car while driving. And especially if I'm going speed, if not faster, and then all of a sudden they come flying by. Oh, man. They get a full rundown from whoever that driver is. I am officially angry at that driver. I'm screaming about that driver. I have no idea who's physically in the car. I'm talking about the number. So, like, if I see the number 3 on your vehicle, Dale Earnhardt now is getting a fucking earful in heaven or hell or wherever the hell he is. Hey, I don't know, man. I'm not judging. I don't know how it works, quite frankly. He could be a dandelion right now. I have no clue.
Fair enough.
So
I did want to get into the topic a little bit more about irrational reactions to certain small things.
Yes.
So Kathleen brings up a good point. Is like she has a severe mouth noise aversion. I have a problem with people chewing and slurping.
Mm-hmm.
It cuts through me so hard that I feel hate. I didn't say I don't like sipping either. I hate that lip smack. Don't do it. Don't you fucking do it. Don't you do it. You piece of shit. I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate it. Listen, everybody, it's last night of the Scene Snobs. It's just like, even when my kids do it, like, it cuts right through me and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I'm like, what are you doing? There's like eating and I'm just like, what? Like, are you kidding me? Like, get out of here. Don't screw around. Like, don't start slurping like your cereal and stuff. We don't mean to. And I'm just, and I have to, like, if they're eating at the table, I have to put something on, like music or TV show, because I can't listen to chewing. I don't know what it is, but I cannot listen to it without getting ultra mad. Not like pick up the kids and like throwing them or anything.
No.
Not even yelling at them. I'm just like, I just get mad.
Yeah, I have the same thing, and a lot of it comes from I have a weird one with cleaning up. And it's just little stuff. Mm-hmm. Because if you leave, like, you know, my child or people who come over, if someone leaves a mess, and when I say a mess, I mean like mountains of plates and clothes and laundries all over the place, I don't care about that. I could care less. But if you blow your nose and just place a Kleenex on a counter, I cannot handle it. That is
Oh my
so
God.
much to me. I'm like, are you kidding me? Because to me, that's a level of rudeness. And for some reason, that clicks in.
Yeah.
And when I say for some reason, I'm pretty sure it's because I was whooped as a child for such things. Like those little things were problematic. The big stuff, I don't sweat the big stuff. That's no problem. But those little things, no, that's unacceptable. Like, why would the dish not just go in the sink? Why is it so hard? Like, that little stuff kills me.
I will say, as I've gotten older, one thing that's true, you know this very well, and I agree with you. Like everything you're saying, like if I see a Kleenex lying around, I don't care where it's from. Why is it there? Like I will put them when I use them on my table until I'm ready to throw them away, until I get up to go do it. But that's my table.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never like that long. Like it's not there like overnight. It's there while I'm sitting. But don't you goddamn leave those anywhere. You throw them away because I'm not going to leave mine there. And I don't expect anyone to clean them up. But when and it's not just like family. I'm talking about like wherever I am.
Mm-hmm.
But when people leave them lying around and then get up and walk away, like you said, it's like that's where the disrespect comes in. Oh, I'm going to clean it up. Clean it up now.
And it explodes all like it's just such a furious reaction because there's no more that has to be said than, hey, grab that, would you? Like, but irrationally, it's that it just suddenly goes into my brain as, why do you hate everything around you? I'm trying to train you to be a good person. It just comes out of nowhere.
Well, you know as well as I do. First of all, I forgot to change my shirt for the show today. So, like, I got, like, a sweat stain and stuff going. Because, like, I have button-down shirts to look good. And I was like, I sat down on my T-shirt, and I was like, oh, shit. I just didn't remember.
I saw you do the same. I saw you on yours, and I had my shirt ready to go. I was like, nah, we're going to be bumming today. Scene Snobs.
Yeah, I know, right? The Scene Snobs. So... as I've gotten older and as things have like in my life have like calmed down from like just always being out and doing things like the single life, I have grown accustomed to my convenience. I do not like to be inconvenienced. I know that sounds so bad. It sounds so bad. It is not terrible because my conveniences are small. My conveniences are small. I want the things that I want, where I want them, when I want them, how I want them. And I set them up myself to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I say inconveniences, I don't mean like my wife's like, hey, can you do the dishes? And it's like, God damn you. No, it's not like that. It's
how dare you? I'm in the middle of watching my stories.
It's right. It's like, yes, we'll compromise and I'll do this and she's going to do this. And I'm talking about, I don't ask for much. Mm-hmm. But stop inconveniencing me. No. So here's my example. When I come in, I have a ritual. I put my keys, my wallet, my mask in the basket right next to the door. I have that basket there. My wife and kids think that basket is there for whatever, whenever, when in reality, I put the basket there for my stuff. So when I go in and I go out of the house, it's there.
It's my stuff bin. It's my stuff bin, guys. Gosh.
It's my stuff bin, and that's what I like it for. It's an inconvenience, and it drives me crazy. But then I like to take my shoes off right there in the kitchen. I don't like walking around the house with shoes on. It's an inconvenience. And I put them right by like underneath the counter, right there. Leave them there. They're perfect there, so I can slip my foot in, pull them out, put them on. But then like my wife will like push them back farther. Like so they're all the way in like the little narrow corner. And like I'm boiling.
When OCD and inconvenience fight.
Well, no, we don't fight because like I'm like I'm not gonna yell at her.
Mentally within your soul, there's an OCD layer versus the
yeah. Don't touch it. It's because I don't ask for much. Now, I will say this. I was putting, during warm months, I put my sandals next to them. And my wife said, you can't have both in this spot. They take up too much room because I wear size 18.
Yeah, they're giant.
I am a giant.
Legit, all right. Those shoes are huge. So this is not normal people's shoes. We're not, you can't, no one who's listening right now can think, oh, well, I don't know. It's not so bad. I've only got size 9s. No, it's that you're half the size shoe.
my feet are boats, and my shoes are boats, and my sandals are rafts.
Which
really
is hilarious. If they moved only an inch away, how could you miss them? They're islands.
I know, but no, it's not that I move. It's that now I have to go under and into the crevice of this little area that she pushes them into, because I know she's getting annoyed with me. And so she's like, she keeps giant shoes here. And now she has asked, because she decorates cookies and stuff like that, she's like, you can leave your shoes here, out of the way, because that's where they are, but you can't leave your sandals in here. I was like, okay, that's fair trade.
Compromise.
You can't have both. You can't have the world. You got to give one up. So like, I can either have my sandals there, or I can have my shoes there at any given time.
This is the most absurd concern to have. Like, that's your worry.
I know. It's so
hope
bad.
people are listening. Like,
no, I'm trying
you
to explain.
fucking princess.
I'm trying to explain my convenience factor. So like, I have my chair on the couch. It's my chair. I get annoyed when people sit in it. I get annoyed because it's my seat. My kids will jump in there. Now I know that they're jumping in there for love, and I always have to tell them, like, get out of my chair. I feel like that's a rite of passage for some kids, though. Like, get out of my chair.
I mean, I went through it.
They do
I still have one of my father's old recliners that he gave me, the old Lazy Boy. I know. I still have that freaking thing just because I was told for so many years I can't sit in the dad chair. So now I have a dad chair. And I'm like, I can't ever let it go. I don't even have room for the damn thing right now in my little apartment. I'm like, well, I mean, it's still here.
I think we need to burn it as a effigy.
Yeah.
And then we get you your own dad chair.
Yeah, you know what? That absolutely has to happen. 100%.
Yes. We're just going to burn the hell out of it.
Chair fire, y'all.
No, but so like, and I have my table, and on my tables, like all my stuff that I use regularly. And it just sits there. I get my cola. No, I don't get a cola. I'm not far, but like, I have my bottle of water. I drink a gallon of water a day. I put, there's space for everything. I've set this shit up so that way there's space for everything. It's convenient. When I come down here, I have all the stuff that I need. It may look disorganized to some people, but it's there, and I know exactly what I need and when I need it. There's an infestation of pops right now. That's a little much. I am not going to lie. But I will say,
get out of hand. I think someone fed them after midnight. That's what happened.
Okay. Here's a perfect reaction. So I got this giant-sized Galactus Funko Pop,
which looks awesome, by the way.
Thank you. I unboxed it, and I brought the box up. I brought the figure up, and it comes with a little Silver Surfer, the keychain size. And I put them on the coffee table, and I just wanted to admire them while I was watching football. And my wife's like, can you bring these downstairs? It's too big. I was so mad at her for the inconvenience of me not being able to admire this, because she asked me, and I know she did it because I was being a dick. Because like I just plopped it down, and like, not like a hurtful, like trying to be a hurtful dick. I was just being a dick.
Just natural Jersey, man. Jersey happens. I get it.
Yeah.
When you get tired, you slip into Jersey. I understand.
Yeah. So like, she was like, "Can you move this?" And I'm like, "I don't want to go downstairs again." So I moved it to the dining room table. She was so pissed, but I was pissed that she was making me move it. So I was like, "I'm gonna put it in her way." But even all that little shit, it's just like, I like my conveniences, and that's why I have irrational reactions. It's bad.
Yeah, no, that's pretty outrageous. I mean, I definitely was trying to go through things that made me irrationally angry, and some of them I was chalking them up to like, I don't know, that's kind of just me being a jerk, or that's an unnecessary reaction that if I thought about it logically, I have no reason to react that way. The car is the only place where it just happens. It pops off hard.
Bullshit.
What?
You are the king of irrational reaction. Like, I'm a boisterous asshole. You're not on that level. You're on a different, you're on a more sly level. All right. So I'm going to give everybody a quick, this is what Casey is when Casey gets offended or mad. If it's something, it's all of a sudden he's like smiling, and then he goes, and then he says something so vicious to you that it makes you question whether you deserve to be on this big spinning blue planet. And it's not like go kill yourself or anything, because that's harsh, and we don't do that.
Yeah, I would never say that. That's
disgusting. No. I'm talking about the lines of like, well, Michael, if you had an ounce of intelligence in that body of yours, I'd see more getting done. And then he just walks away. And you're like, and like you question yourself for a minute because you're like, do I not have intelligence? Like,
okay, so that's fair that an older version of me or a younger version of me at one point in my life perhaps was pretty consistently a lot like that. Yeah. Yeah, because I was never good at fighting. Much more chill. You're more chill. I was never good at fighting or arguing. I never learned how to do that. So instead, when I got hurt and when you got me, and whenever anyone got me, I made sure I got them back with the full weight of my entire ability and capability, and make sure that I leave you with some thoughts. Maybe some considerations for yourself. Here's some ideas to kick around for a couple of weeks so you can question who you are as a human.
No, it was never for you weeks, because like you always came back around real quick. Real quick. You always came back around, and like in the same like hangout session.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like this, but it was a sting, man. It was a sting. Like you'd hit right, and you'd just be like, oh man, and like there was no arguing against it. It wasn't going to be like you were a real dick. Like you were just like, oh man, I kind of deserved it because I know we pissed him off. So I know we were being dicks first, and he just toppled us. And it didn't happen often, but when it hit a chord and you went chinless, like your head like resets in.
It's true, like, yeah, it does. I fully because it's like a turtle reaction. So I'm trying to hide. Is what I'm trying to do, and once I realize I can't, I have to use my brain. That's all I got. It's the only weapon I got.
You skewered so many people at certain times that it was just like, what? Every time you did it, you'd walk away. You'd go have like a cigarette or something back in the day, and like you would just be like, and like everybody would just be like, he doesn't say things like that enough for us to be mad at him, but at the same time, like I'm really hurt.
Yeah. I would not be subtle. I would basically build up I would condense the entire argument down. It was like a concentrated argument. So instead of having to go through hours of this, I'm just going to say what I'm thinking at the worst possible point, but not to the point where I'm pushing over to the edge to be so hurtful that I want to break someone. It's just, I'm condensing the entire argument down to the lines I have, and there you go. Done. A concentrated that, for example, something along the lines of, well, I understand where you're coming from, but I'm sure if you were a little more considerate of others, you probably be nicer in your life. But I understand, that's fine. Some people just can't reach that level, and that something like that, and then walk away.
Like you would just like tear them down, and it was just and like there were times like it was like you went chinless, and like people who didn't piss you off are like, I'm out of here.
Yeah. No, it's true. That's another reason that, you have to get off certain drugs in your life. Alcohol ain't so great. Being a drunk wasn't really good for me.
No, I wouldn't say. You were just like, you got pissed off, and it was understandable. Because like, again, it wasn't like you were starting it. And listen, as being somebody who was on the receiving end from some of those things, I'm not saying you were a piece of shit or you started. No. I get that it was my goading and fucking around that led to you getting pissed off. But I'm not saying that it didn't hurt when you said it either.
I mean, fair. And you know what, buddy? I'm sorry for those years that I did that. I didn't mean to be that hurtful.
You said one time to me, and I know, again, I'm not saying I didn't deserve it.
This is great. I love this.
Fucking with you said one time to me, you went chinless. I think we were at He Who Will Not Be Named's house. And you were just like, and we were having a cigarette, and you were just like, nice tits, right at me, and walked inside. And I was like, oh, man, that's so true that it hurt my feelings.
Yeah, I don't really enjoy getting on the train with body shaming. That's not the
No, but
direction I
then
was going. But I think I was getting needled in a
yeah,
direction that was
yeah.
putting me. I will retort in in kind. So yeah.
I'm not mad about it. I don't even think I was mad that night. I think everybody else that was there that night was just kind of like, oh shit, because we walked inside right after you, and it was fine.
Yeah, of
It
course.
was fine.
Because once
We
it's
watched
out,
the
it's
movie
out.
we went.
It's done. Yeah,
Yeah.
once it's out, there's no getting it back in the can. But there's only moving forward. You know what I mean? So
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that's friendship.
exactly.
That's what I'm just saying. You were good at it, man. You were good at it. I was like, me, I'm boisterous. When I'm inconvenienced or I don't like something or I get mad, it's irrational, but I'm loud.
It's
And
big. It's very
let
big. It's
people-
super Jersey. It's wonderful. It's one of my favorite things is to wind you up and get you going, which is funny though, because nobody wants to wind me up. Nobody wants to get to a point. It's amusing, but then it's like, oh no.
Dude, there was, and I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna say it with love. Casey got so mad at me one point, he stopped talking to me for a year.
Yep.
A year.
Yep.
And then when he deemed that the sentence was over, he started talking to me again. And I was like, and I still wasn't like mad. I was just like, all right. I was like, it's just a full year. It's like, what?
I put myself in my own mental jails because I do something where, like, even if I have a thought that I feel is too malicious towards someone, I'm like, well, there's a month. I just can't talk to them for a month.
I was like, oh shit, all right. I mean, listen, it worked out. We are past it. What's the strongest ship in the fleet? We all know it. Friendship. That's right.
I mean, let's go.
Hey, yeah, I love it.
You're on the
I haven't ordered mine yet because I want a picture of you holding that.
Oh, okay.
So when we're done, I'm going to make you big and I'm going to do a screenshot.
Really? How big?
Yep.
Like Tom Hanks big?
Exactly. Oh, I don't have him near me. He's back there. I have Josh on the keyboard. Let's go to some of the comments, and I'm going to move on to this other one about beloved characters.
Yes, agreed.
So it's called misophonia. It's an actual thing. I don't doubt that I have something. Raider says, I can't explain it, but whistling, especially people insist on doing it when they're bad at it. Sorry, I had to do it. Cuts me to the core. It's seriously like my ears going to bleed and I just want to stop.
I love that while discussing irrational fears, we're just angering our own people.
Well, there's
Thanks everyone for listening. I'm glad I hope we pissed you off a little bit tonight. Get that energy out. Just burn it, man. Once it's burned, it's gone. It's just cortisol. Get it out of the body.
We're gonna get you past this one, buddy. Also, the jackass that was directed at Casey for slurping sound. I don't blame you. My pet peeve with my kid is just putting a dirty dish in the sink. Please rinse it out and put it in the dishwasher. I hate seeing bowls and spaghetti and cereal in it. Me and you both, AJ. That's the dad pool right there.
Yeah, no, it really grinds my gears. I would love to be able to say that I don't want it in the sink and put it in the dishwasher. Sadly, I have no dishwasher. So I am the dishwasher.
Yes, you do. When your daughter's over, she's the dishwasher.
Absolutely not. I don't trust that child yet. To clean things? Are you kidding me? She swipes it. She's like, it's good. I'm like, oh, no.
No, you must soap it up.
Yeah. We will teach you of the sudsing.
Have you been evaluated for OCD? I have not, but I don't doubt that I might have it. My mother has OCD. It's not to an extreme, but she has been diagnosed with OCD.
Yeah.
Casey can attest. He's been to my parents' house. Like, you're not allowed to have clutter.
Yeah.
She will not accept clutter. Like, her house is very bare. Like, she has like 2 pictures on the wall and a mirror. She does not like clutter. Yeah.
My mom's the same way. I mean, I think it's a northern thing because we grew up with my mom always literally had to clean the house 1 hour in the morning, then work, then clean it for an hour at night. And then on the weekends, we would spend either Saturday or Sunday, one of those days, it was always dusting and vacuuming. Always. Hands down. No questions asked. And we were dusting everything. Every room, everything came off every surface, went back, and it had to go back the same way.
See, that's extreme to me. I know what you mean. And
I mean, it wasn't flowers in the attic extreme, but it was still.
No. I mean, like before school and after. Like we had to clean up after ourselves during the week, but then during the weekends, like it was like full on dust vacuum the whole nine.
Oh yeah.
And we do that now, so that way the kids can kind of have that same upbringing because I do think that's important.
Oh, I agree. I
Cleanliness
think it is very
is,
much. Yeah, it was more the putting back everything exactly the same and making sure that that doily was right fucking centered. And if it wasn't centered right, woo boy.
Jesus Christ! No wonder you're like Dr. Venom. Your Venom strike. Just pissed off because it wasn't in the right place. No more wire hangers, Casey.
No more wire hangers. Yeah, that was. Yep.
Yeah. Well, Tadpool says, sorry, I got all verklempt. Well, when you wear a size 18, you can be a big dick. Waka waka. That's true.
Waka waka.
Donkey dick. What? No, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. Dude, she
Unlike a
asked you to
tuna
move
can.
it. If she didn't say where she wanted it, you were in compliance. I see no issue here. I'm not trying to outsmart my wife, man.
No, that's a terrible idea. Bro, that's
She's
rolling through
smarter.
dice that you don't have the time for. No, sir.
And if Radar agrees with John, he goes, malicious compliance is still compliance. Now, man, I have pissed off my wife plenty of times. I don't want to do that anymore. I'm so far past it. I do want to get into the next topic. I don't even know if we're going to get to all of them, but I do want to get to the next one because I think this is a good one. And if we don't get to Dream Vacations, it's already been moved once. It's like the Matt Damon of the Jimmy Kimmel Show.
Absolutely. We're going to get to Dream Vacate Destinations eventually.
Yeah,
In fact, we'll probably do that. We'll wait for a day when it's really gross. Well, yes, when we go to Carolina Fear Fest.
There you go.
We absolutely will be the dream destination. I'm super stoked.
Oh, my God. I can't wait. Actually, let's take a moment to talk about that. So, guys, just in case anybody doesn't know or hasn't heard, we are representatives of the Carolina Fear Fest again this year. Super excited. We love horror movies, as you guys know, and this is a great horror festival in North Carolina down in Raleigh. They have it at the North Carolina State Fair site in the Jim Graham building. If you guys are in the area or you want, up for traveling, come and hang out. There's going to have some great stars. So far, they've announced DJ Qualls. They've announced Jordan Ladd.
Yep, Jordan Ladd was the new one, the most recent one.
Yep, which is, very exciting. Shahar, Scream Queen herself.
And Clint Howard. I'm stealing your thunder. You like that? Dink.
I'm so excited for that one. Clint Howard is awesome and been in the business for so many years. But yeah, so we're excited to be doing that. We are going to be broadcasting. We're going to be a part of it. We are officially there representing Carolina Fear Fest. So we're excited for it. We're going to be talking to vendors and everyone else. So if you're in the area, go get your tickets. Come out now. Come travel down. It's a good festival to kind of be a part of. Lots of fun panels and stuff like that. So the link is in the description. You can go check them out and what they're doing and then follow them and stuff like that. So tell them we sent you.
Be cool and do it.
Yeah, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that we were part of another awesome festival, which is the Horrific Hope Film Festival, which is going to be in Winchester, Virginia, the last weekend in April. And, last weekend, first couple of days of May, we're going to be hosting the virtual side from 6 to 12 that Friday night. And we will be there in person for the next 2 days. So make sure you guys get tickets for that. It is very much mental health oriented, but it has a horror background, and they're going to be shining a light on a lot of awesome horror films.
Very excited for that one. It's going to be so cool.
So I just have to say that I don't know if we can revisit beloved characters without the original actors who played them. What do you think, Casey?
Well, that's a really great question, Mick. And I was kind of going through this one and trying to figure out who would we consider a beloved character and what would qualify that? What would bring them to that point? I think just looking in more recent time, for me personally, I had to look inwards and see what it really meant to me. And of course, I go to Star Trek. That is one of the easiest bases, ground zeros to just immediately start at. Picard recently has come out. And without Sir Patrick Stewart in that role, it's not Jean-Luc Picard. I feel it is very difficult to try to put someone in that position and be Jean-Luc Picard. If we're doing a time travel and going back in time, I think it's totally possible to swap them out for someone. I think whenever you're doing de-aging or anything along those lines, you could do that. But we have also seen Grand Moff Tarkin be completely digitalized. And I think we could do that too with Picard if he was just to be, a small portion or part of something. So I think going to that point, it's tough to pull away from certain characters like Hugh Jackman. We're going to have a new Wolverine. Now, MCU did it in a way where we're allowed to have as many actors jump in as any damn character, and we go with it. We can go along with it. So I don't know if I would count them as beloved characters. So we've seen Bond, a beloved character, be swapped out constantly. And there's buzz and excitement around who's going to be the next Bond, who's going to portray this awesome character, who's the actor that's going to leave their own little impression on it and do it their way.
Well,
so go ahead.
It's just cut you off for a second, like to go back to the X-Men form of it. I think a lot of people accepted like Professor X and Magneto because they did do the younger versions, and because we got to see younger actors kind of take up the mantle, it kind of freed us up there. But we never got to see Wolverine played by a younger actor. So I don't know that that's going to be an easily acceptable. Like, even for me, I'm like, I really want him in.
I think it'll be all right because we need another one. We need something different. We're going to have that. And what MCU did was they allowed us that by having these alternate timelines, these other worlds, these other Earths, the other, whatever you want to call it, the multiverse. Through the multiverse, we're able to have whomever, and we can get on board with it. We find a way to do it. We've allowed it to happen already a few times. There's been different characters who have played Jean Grey, different characters who have played Magneto, different characters who have played Storm, different, we've just gone along with it, and it's fine. It works. I mean, Cyclops, for crying out loud. Who could get over James Marsden not playing Cyclops, right? And we have Miles Teller now we have to accept. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, honestly, for me, like when I start thinking about, James Marsden did a good job.
James Marsden is one of the greatest
Cyclopses
of all time.
He was good for the time. Like they got rid of him too fast. So like, it's not, to me, it's not a character that's like, oh, we need to kind of keep him. Like,
so who would you see as a beloved character that can't be separated from the person? Like, I really am struggling with who would it be? Kirk? I mean, we dealt with that.
No, we dealt with Kirk. Great. And Chris Pine was great. That's why I don't know that Picard would be so hard to do, because I think you could, if you find the right actors. All right, I don't know if Live from Detroit. I think that's a podcast. I'm pretty sure that's
Jeff
a podcast.
Dwoskin?
Jeff Dowiskin is
Jeff Dwoskin.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's a podcast. He lets a lot of people know he has one, so I think this is it. But going back to what I was saying, Indiana Jones is a tough one for me.
Okay.
Now, Han Solo wasn't. Because I was like, if you're going to move on, this is one of those things. Like, I loved Harrison Ford in that world, and who he was growing into it. So, like, if they needed to go back and they did pick a younger actor, I was okay with it. I don't know that I'd be okay with them picking out a new Indiana Jones. I think it should just be gone, be done, like a Back to the Future type. Like, you're never going to get another one of those.
I get it. I understand where you're coming from with that. There's a level of having played an iconic role versus being the first one to, create the iconic role. Like, it's really hard to separate it when the icon is still around and the same badass that he was the whole time. So I can understand that. But for the sake of the new audiences, for moving forward, it's so much nostalgia plays on this that it's very difficult. I mean, think of how many Philip Marlowes there were. And people were like, no one could be it after Bogart. Who could pretend to try to fill those shoes after Bogart? You know what I'm saying? There was huge backlash from our grandparents over that. So. No,
but not as much, because, again, I think that's like a James Bond type of character. Well, first off, I think it's because that started out as books. And before, and in early stages of film. So for Bogart to be playing in an early stage of film, like, I guess he encapsulated that character really well. Like, even the Sam Spade character, Maltese Falcon, stuff like that. But because people read the books back then before they saw the movies, which isn't not the case now as much, I think people were okay with, different people playing those roles.
That's fair. Yeah. One of the things I really do enjoy is what would we do going forward? Is there a current character that you see as coming up as an icon who is some actor who has played a character that has become difficult, say Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man.
I think you can I think Marvel did a good job in showing you. First of all, they did a good job and a bad job. They did a good job in showing you that we'll just recast.
Yeah,
and they've done it with Don Cheadle stepping in for Terrence Howard and Mark Ruffalo, and so like that you can do that. If you can't get the actor, I feel like the fans will accept you recasting, and I think that's the problem that they're having with T'Challa in the Black Panther right now. Is like, if things are getting closed down and shut down and it's not able to do what you want to do, like, recast the guy. We want another Black Panther. So I feel like they've always done a good job in listening to their fans. Mm-hmm. This might be one that they need to listen to.
I can see that. I think it's, once again, it's one of those situations where you have things so tied to the actor themselves, and it's so new. Like, I don't know if we'd be able to get away with a new Harry Potter. Do you think we could recast Daniel Radcliffe as Harry Potter? Like, there's no chance. There's no chance.
I do think that Harry Potter can and will be remade, maybe like 20 years from now.
Agreed. When we're in virtual reality headsets and everyone is becoming their own version of that Harry Potter. Yeah, no, that's absolutely going to happen.
Here's one that I agree with. Kathleen said, Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. Yeah, I don't want to see anybody else as Deadpool.
I don't either. But I have no desire for anyone else.
I'm assuming this is Jeff.
I can't believe you think that you could absolutely recast Harry Potter. I don't see it yet. And that's only because I feel like too many of the millennials, I guess that's us now. Too many you too, buddy. So too many of us millennials are tied to, Daniel Radcliffe. That's going to be another 10 years. But the kids, man, the kids are going to, it's tough.
Which is exactly why they won't.
Yeah.
But I feel like you could get away with it if you did a Harry Potter TV show.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, if you were going to make it a different medium, yeah.
If you and it's the same with Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings could be remade. I mean, they're never going to be as good. They're not. I'm sorry. They're never going to be as good because Peter Jackson filmed everything.
Well, he was amazing. And not to mention that timing of everything, the way he did the stories, the fact that there was nothing else out there like that we got an epic scale of movie that we had not seen or felt or, really had come across before. Or at least it's been a while. I mean, since John Ford maybe gave us that feeling.
Fair. Going back a long way, but true. But like the Lord of the Rings, the reason, and I feel like The Hobbit shows us this. He didn't want to direct The Hobbit. His hand was forced. Mm-hmm. And he did those movies, and they are not as good. You can tell it's missing something. And that is the love he had for Lord of the Rings. Like, he was in love with Lord of the Rings.
I don't know. I think the love was covered by the Ian McShane Goblin King pretty well. I think that made up for the love. I was fine with it. I like the Hobbit movies. I think they come across well. I think Martin Freeman does a fantastic job. Everyone played really good characters. I enjoyed it. I didn't have a problem with it at all.
But that's the thing. You're saying I enjoyed it. I didn't have a problem with it. You would never have that reaction if I asked you what you think of Lord of the Rings.
It's one of the greatest fucking series of all times.
And right there proves that by that standard, by that reaction to both those.
But also because there was nothing else like it in 2001 to watch that movie. The Fellowship, still hold man.
Up. There's a TV show, The Power of the Rings, is coming out on Amazon, and to me, it's still not going to be as good as the movies.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather. I mean, so you're telling me you could be comfortable with a different Samwise Gamgee?
They could make that. What I'm saying to you is, no matter what they make, if they could remake Lord of the Rings 15 times in the next 20 years. And it will never be as good as that. So you can have a new actor. I don't think those movies couldn't be recast. They of course could, just like I think Harry Potter could and things like that.
Are you trying to say that you don't think Orlando Bloom is iconic?
Yes, I do. But what I'm saying is you can recast them and people will see it.
Yeah.
I just don't think everything pales in comparison.
That's true. The outlash will not be, oh no, it's not Viggo Mortensen as my Aragorn. You're right. You're 100% correct. I would be excited to go see who it is wearing a T-shirt that says whoever it is not my Aragorn. But I'd go. I would go spend my money to go see that.
Jeff says The Hobbit. Let's milk a franchise and make 100 more movies from a book that can support one. Yeah. I mean, it was one book and they made a trilogy. It was ridiculous.
And it's only like a 400-page book. It ain't that long.
Yeah, it's not a long book. If you didn't read the book, the Hobbit movies are good. I mean, listen, I like them. I did read the book and I still like the movies. But you're right. The book is, the books are way better than all of them.
I don't know. The creepy 1970s cartoon was pretty tip top for me.
Here it is. I'm not giving you that one.
It was wonderful.
Deadpool says, the idea of variance has opened up the idea of different actors playing beloved characters. When we see them, the fans could love it. I firmly believe people will love the variant Tony Stark. Here's my take on this. My hot take.
Hot take.
Again, MCU has set it up where they can recast. But variants can always, we want somebody different for variants. We want to see somebody else in that role. And if the rumors are true and it's Tom Cruise playing the variant Tony Stark, which would be fun to see, it doesn't take away Robert Downey Jr. playing that role.
And that's the other thing. I think when they get worried with the recast is if the character is going to be destroyed. Look, no one's ever going to do the job. That Radar brings up a good point here, so I do want to touch on his. That pirates can never be done. No one's going to say that that Johnny Depp is not Jack Sparrow and fully capable as always being Jack Sparrow. But Jack Sparrow is such a caricature and a caricature of a person that anyone can do it. So if they replace him, it's not going to detract from the story for me at all because I have 5 movies of Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow. I'm fine. I have enough,
They are replacing him.
Well, I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, that whole thing is convoluted and bullshit, in my opinion, only because of the circumstances.
Yeah, the circumstances are absolute bullshit. I think it's all absurd, but, it is what it is.
Variants in the multiverse are turning this Marvel phase into a hot mess. Prove me wrong. It's not. It's building to something that we want to see, which is Battleworld, which in the comics makes sense. You don't have a long enough or deep enough roster of heroes in the MCU that have been introduced yet. And if you want to get to Battleworld in the next 10 years, you need to add variants to that. Yeah. And the fact that they've opened up, and variants are nothing new. Variants have existed for a long time, Spider-Verse, things like that. They do exist. And they're well known. And you want to open it up to a Battleworld down the line, this is what you do now. You introduce the variants down the line. We can take it to a whole new level.
That's fair. It's a lot of story. And for people who aren't huge Marvel fans, it can be a lot of burn. I think that's the other part too, is it becomes a lot of Marvel burn because it's so much and it's all over the place and it starts to become, what the fuck? So I get that. I see that side. I can absolutely see people being upset with that because it's a whole lot to throw. I didn't like the comic books when I was reading X-Men and they're like, continue this amazing story in X-Force and then buy X-Factor. And then we're going to have this 4-shot that you have to read and then go back to buying more of our books. I just couldn't keep up.
Yeah. When it comes down to it, like Jeff, are variants a hot mess? Yes. In the DCEU.
Oh God, terrible.
In the MCU, they're setting it up really well. They've been setting up the multiverse since WandaVision. Loki really tackled it hard and showed us where it's going to go and how crazy it's going to be. There's going to be a lot to be answered for going forward. What if added to it even more and showed us even more variants? It's going to be, and then No Way Home. No Way Home, we got 3 Spider-Man, and it was amazing. And we got that variant, those variants there.
It's also different with No Way Home though, because those were Spider-Man that we knew.
Yeah.
So this was a relatable Spider-Man, so it was an easy sell because we all got that moment of nostalgia and we all got to have our rose-colored glasses on and go, oh, it was so wonderful. They look so great.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. But I think this is where it's going to really get to a good place where Doctor Strange is going to introduce even more variants, even more worlds. It's going to get chaotic. It's going to get crazy. It's going to seem messy. But they have a plan. There's a plan in place.
Oh, there is. And we're going to get there. And it's way better than DC's plan because right now DC has basically got Peacemaker.
DC has a good, and they're bringing back. My only thing about DC that I'm really excited about right now is Peacemaker, and they're bringing back Keaton.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, the Batman.
Oh,
another one.
Deadpool said
iconic
it. He
role.
said DCU's a hot mess. MCU's on point.
There you go. Deadpool's on point. Deadpool knows what's up. But that's another one. Batman, another great character. Superman, another one. Christopher Reeve wasn't going to always be Superman. We can't always have Henry Cavill as Superman, which is unfortunate. I would like to keep
Brandon
him forever.
Routh.
Brandon Routh was awesome. He was a great Superman. The movie sucked, and I was not a fan of half of it, really. Kate Bosworth bugged me. I didn't think she was a good. I have more struggle with people trying to portray Lois Lane than I do people portraying Superman. Because Superman's pretty simple character. I mean, you pretty much get the gist of who Superman is. He's a crazy alien who is a god on Earth. There you go. Have fun.
Well, so I agree with you about Superman. I agree with you about a lot of stuff. But like, is there any character in your head, in your mind, throughout movies? Let's stick to movies because TV broadens it too much, and we can't do that. But that you can't replace, that you're just like, no, it has to die with this actor. I can't.
Doc Brown.
Oh man! Oh my God! You're pulling out the heartstrings now. Yeah, I don't think anybody could pull off Doc Brown.
I don't think Doc Brown could ever be redone.
I think the argument could be made if, like, Marty could be redone. Although they proved that they had an original Marty and he was a good actor, but it didn't work. Like, you needed Michael J. Fox, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah,
and that's not just a Michael J. Fox thing, because Jason Bateman was perfectly fine in Teen Wolf 2. I liked him just as much as I liked Scott in the original.
The fucking boxing one? Jesus Christ.
Yes. What are you talking? It was great. It was right.
Oh my God. No. I'm not giving you Teen Wolf 2. Teen Wolf 2 was garbage sauce. It was terrible. Sauce,
nothing. It was hilarious. You still get Styles.
It's not even the same guy.
But you get the character.
Okay, and for the sake of this argument, it's fine to replace Styles.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It is, because I just want the character of Styles. That's an easy swap out.
You didn't replace Scott. You didn't replace Michael J. Fox in that movie. It was his cousin, which made no sense, but whatever. And then, no. Teen Wolf 2 sucks, dude.
No, it does not. And I'm going down on this one. I'm going on record that I've absolutely no. Teen Wolf 2 is fantastic.
It's a terrible movie. Teen Wolf 1 is where it's at. It's the best. And
but so fight me on that. I mean, I think Doc Brown is one that you cannot recast. I think anyone in the Star Wars verse can be redone. Yeah. Because everyone has been done now. So I think we're comfortable and confident with that. So you can swap them out.
Like, I've heard rumors back in the day that if Sebastian Stan took over as Luke Skywalker in a Luke Skywalker TV show, I'm 100% on board with that. That'd be great.
It'd be fantastic. I really don't mind, because I just want more of the character. I don't mind that it's not Mark Hamill. I love Mark Hamill, and he's obviously iconic in that role, as is James Earl Jones's voice / David Prowse's body. But they proved that they can redo that too. So,
I mean, we're going to see a lot of really fun stuff.
Magneto is you know what? Gandalf. Could we redo a Gandalf?
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
What about Lieutenant Pete Mitchell, Maverick?
In Top Gun?
Yeah.
Wait, no, he wasn't Pete, was he?
Yeah, Lieutenant Pete Mitchell.
His name was Pete?
Yeah, Pete Mitchell.
Get the fuck out of here. I didn't know that. That's so lame. Not the name Pete.
Why were you knocking on Pete's now?
No, I'm not knocking on Pete's. I'm saying that's a lame name for somebody who calls himself Maverick. I'm sorry. That is not a good name for somebody who's like, I'm Maverick. Oh, what's your real name? Pete.
Pete.
No.
I don't even remember what Goose's name was. His real name.
Not Pete.
Yeah.
It's like, you have a guy named I now I'm pissed off. Now I want to know what was Iceman's name.
Val Herman. Greg. All right, I don't want to sit here and name shame. Let's not be
I'm name shaming Iceman. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong Iceman.
I can't even believe you're doing
that. Was a serial killer that I looked up. Lieutenant Tom Iceman Kazansky.
Tom, that's right.
That is some bullshit. That is, and I have a son named Tom. I think it's a strong name. It's stronger than Pete. It's a strong name. It's a good name. I'm not putting it down.
I just thought of an iconic character. It might be difficult to ever recast.
Who?
Ash Williams.
Yeah, that one's got to die. That one's got to.
I think Ash Williams has to die. I don't know that. Yeah, that's probably the only Bruce Campbell character that can die with him, but that's got to die with him.
Yeah, I don't mind you making new Evil Dead movies, but like Ash is Ash. Like Bruce Campbell is Ash. That's who it is. Yeah. And that's only.
You can even be so lazy to call the next character Bash, and I'll be fine. They can have almost all the same stuff. It just can't be Ash Williams.
You know what pisses me off is when people freak out about Kane Hodder being the true Jason, and I'm like, there's like 50 of those movies, right? And he was only in 4. Like, calm down. Like, I mean, he was great. Don't get me wrong. I love Kane Hodder.
CJ Graham was amazing too.
CJ Graham was great in the 6th one. Like, there's so many Jasons, and like there was a different one in every movie until Kane Hodder popped in, and it's like, come on. That's not like a sacred role. Like we need to calm down.
Same thing with the Michael Myers. Nick Castle did the first and another one. I can't remember which other one.
He did the Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, but he was the unmasked version.
Right.
Jude Courtney, Jai Courtney, I think is there something like that.
Jai Courtney?
James Jude Courtney. That's what his name is. James Jude Courtney. My apologies. He played him under the mask, and he did a great job.
Yeah, fantastic job. But those are certain characters. What about Freddy? Can Freddy be recast? Because they tried it. And it did not go well.
It did not go well, but that movie sucked.
Yeah, and that's another problem where I actually liked that Freddy, but the movie was awful. It was
Jackie Earle Haley was actually good. You want to hear a funny tidbit about Nightmare on Elm Street? Jackie Earle Haley was late he was running late for the audition for the original Nightmare on Elm Street, and he was going to try and play one of the teenagers, and he needed a ride, so he had his roommate bring him, and his roommate was Johnny Depp. And guess who was in that movie?
Well, I guess they weren't roommates after that.
They convinced him to read, and he read, and then Wes Craven's daughter saw the tape and was like, "You have to hire him. He's going to be a star." She wasn't wrong.
Yeah, no,
he did great. Wasn't wrong. To a lot of people,
created his own iconic character from one iconic role to another iconic movie.
He's had a lot.
We have at that. Who else do we have on that level? Who else is on that tier of not being able to be swapped out? I can't really think of many characters. There's very few. Like I know you're hell bent on Indiana Jones. I could take another Indiana. I could have another Junior.
I will say this: I would love to see a good RoboCop remake. Not what we got.
Whoa.
Listen.
I liked that one.
All right, good for you. No, don't go chinless on me. I will say this. I would like because I think RoboCop should be remade, but but it has been proven twice now that anybody other than Peter Weller in that role is just not that good. And that was Joel Kinnaman, who I like as an actor.
Joel Kinnaman is wonderful, and
I don't know who played him in the 3rd one, but it certainly wasn't Peter Weller. Now when he has the jetpack and he's flying around, RoboCop, come down. He's helping the homeless people. He's like, I'm not a cop anymore. Help the homeless. Like on his jetpack. That's the whole movie. In my opinion, that's the whole movie that I remember. They killed off I can't think of his partner's name. They killed off they killed her off, and then he got a jetpack, and then he fought the police to save the homeless people. And that's all I remember of that movie. And it wasn't good. But I can tell you all the lines from the first one and most of the second one. The second one was a little goofy too, but
this is 100% true. I've seen it. So another one for you. Another one for you is what about
thank you.
Nope. It completely I haven't had that happen in a while. Brain fart. on air. That's fun.
That's all right. Do
What
you want
happens
to go?
to now? What happens about if you have a like Bruce Willis? There we go. Gosh, I was thinking John Matrix. I went from Commando and then went back to Die Hard. Can you try to redo Die Hard?
Yeah, they've done.
Okay.
They've redone Die Hard like too much. Too much. They need to slow down on redoing Die Hard. They need to calm it down a little bit. It's
And do you
way
think that
overdone.
character, like, do you think so? They don't, but you got to call him a different name. I feel like, and the reason I bring this up is because Dadpool brought up a point over here with Ripley from Alien.
Yes,
And I think that's a very strong one because I don't want another Ripley.
No,
The story I got from her story of Alien Resurrection, all the crappy ones and the great ones, I don't want any more Ripley. There's such a world there. You don't need another Ripley.
But I also stand on the principle that I don't think Alien needs to be remade.
Oh, 100%.
It's such a world that you can just kind of go on.
Exactly.
You don't have to remake. So I don't think that I think getting that out of there right there is like, there shouldn't be a new Ripley because you shouldn't remake this movie. You should just continue it.
Yeah, exactly. You should be able to continue the story of what's happening to this thing, kind of like as you're in the story of the proto-molecule with the Expanse.
Yes.
There's so much you can do. I don't need any more of different. I don't swap out the crew. Don't change any of the characters. Do a different place. Go somewhere else.
Make other cool characters
somewhere else. Yeah.
And for God's sake, if you're gonna remake or not remake, if you're gonna continue on with Alien in that franchise, stop putting Ridley Scott in the director's chair.
Yeah, seriously, man. Look, I think Michael Fassbender I could easily say he's one of my top 5 current newer actors as of the 2010s, let's say. I'm a huge Fassbender fan. I don't want him in there either. Like, I feel like Ridley Scott somehow burned that actor for me a little bit. I'm like, what? How did he do that? He plays a good role. It's an android. That's a fascinating, fun character that should have a lot of depth, and you should be interested in following his journey and seeing what he's all about. And instead, I couldn't care fucking less. God damn it, Ridley Scott.
Sci-fi is one of those odd genres that I say, like, we should be giving younger filmmakers the shot in the chair. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like because everything we dreamed that the 2020s would be when we were kids is vastly done. Like, look at Back to the Future 2. Like, a lot of us we're going to have flying cars by then. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. They're going to figure this out. Very different. But,
yeah, very different. Oh, real quick, though, there is a flying car now that has officially been approved to fly and drive. So... yeah, we do have a flying car. Not everyone has one, but we have an officially approved one now in the world.
That will be shot out of the air real quick. Probably by an anti-masker. Anyway,
we're not doing this.
Dadpool, I'm not going back full circle. Dadpool says, in the memory of Jim Varney, please do not recast Ernest. I 100% agree with that. And I think that always needs to be respected because Jim Varney created that character.
Yeah, agreed. Well, that's the same thing with Pee Wee Herman. We don't need another Pee Wee Herman. It's unfortunate that Paul Rubens kind of, hurt his legacy as much as he did. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it was a mistake, and whatever, whacking off in a theater, get over it.
He jerked off in a theater where other people were jerking off. He just happened to be a celebrity doing it. Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm not jerking off in a theater. That's pretty fucking weird. But I will say this, like, if that's
I'm not jerking myself off in a theater.
Like, Fred Willard did the same thing, and I'm not going to not laugh at Fred Willard. What are you, monsters? Like, what people do off screen, I don't give a shit about. I really don't care, unless they're hurting people. That's a different story. Then you're a scumbag. Yeah, you're a piece of shit.
Exactly. No, I can't be on board with that. If you're hurting other people or hurting, yeah, no, negative.
Prince Andrew. Derailed that one. No. So. When it comes to Jim Varney and Ernest, he created that. That was his creation. Now, I'm not saying that people's character creations can't be remade, but he was Ernest. Mm-hmm. And if you recast that, you're completely shitting on somebody who became the embodiment of that character.
Right.
Through his own thoughts and measures and things like that. Not like a writer who wrote a character,
I know what you mean, Vern.
So, I want to make sure that the podcast people know what I mean. and they don't get mad at me for having unpopular opinions. So for me, I do agree with Doc Brown. I don't think Doc Brown could be redone. I just don't think you're going to find anybody who could redo it. They're going to try too much to be like Christopher Lloyd.
Of course. I mean, he created that character in a way where it lends itself. You know, you want to be that Doc Brown.
Maybe that's something to it. Maybe it's eccentric characters that is hard to, because somebody to come in and make this character stand out. Mm-hmm. Like Superman stands out, but you can get anybody who has a great physique, who can wear that and it looks statuesque, step into that role and it works. It's been proven. James Bond, the same thing. Indiana Jones is tough because like he has eccentricities too.
I see. This is where we're a little different on this, only because I see Indiana Jones as more in that lines of a comic book pop novel character where you can swap out who it is. Now, Harrison Ford may always be my Indiana Jones, the same way Michael Keaton will forever be my Batman, but I can absolutely respect another on-screen portrayal of that character because I want more of that story. You know, and I don't think we need to respect Harrison Ford's role of Indiana Jones in such a way that we completely recast in a whole new direction and update it and all that. I'd be fine just swapping out the actor and give me back to the 1930s. Have him fight Nazis again. Man, that's great stuff. I love him fighting Nazis. Indiana Jones versus Nazis. Those are the best Indiana Jones movies.
What about Rick O'Connell from the Mummy movie?
I mean, honestly, I'd be okay with that, but I still love Brendan Fraser, and he will be my Rick O'Connell. I like those any adventure and actiony characters can be swapped out, but it's much more difficult when it comes to that comedy, quirky, kind of different in-between area. Like sci-fi has a couple characters like that. You know, there's a couple different characters in Westerns that I think are very difficult to swap out. For me, just having Tombstone and Wyatt Earp come out within the same year, I can't see Kevin Costner's on my Wyatt Earp. You know, that he never will be. It is Kurt fucking Russell. Like,
that's a good movie, though.
It was a great movie. Oh, it's a very good movie. I don't take anything away from the movie itself. It's just when I think of Wyatt Earp, it's Kurt Russell. When I think of Doc Holliday, it's fucking Val Kilmer.
Which is funny to me because that is like the more like rumored version, like, you know, kind of like the fairy tale version of what happened. Whereas Wyatt Earp, he tried to be as historical as possible, and you being such a history buff, it is. I mean, we know what the better movie is.
But only because it is fantasy. It's entertainment, man. Yeah. If I sit down and want to be entertained, that's what I want. I want that fantastical version of it. Wyatt Earp is a great movie, but it's also 3 hours of sadness. It's fucking sad.
It's true. It is pretty
sad. We watch these two friends go through all this shit together, and then one slowly dies while the other one is riding off into the sunset, having his fucking great life ahead of him.
Wyatt Earp was basically the MCU's Thor of back in the day. Exactly. Just had shit happening to him. Yeah. And he went on adventures. Radar says Fifth Element without Bruce or Tucker wouldn't work at all. I highly disagree. I think you could...
I don't know how I feel on that one because Fifth Element is such a very specific story. I don't know if I would even want it redone. You know, it's kind of one of those weird offshoot things where I don't think I want to see anyone other than Jason Priestley open it up in a tomb.
I don't think that... No, it wasn't. It was Luke Perry.
Or sorry, Luke Perry. Gosh, how did I just do
Jason Priestley was in Tombstone.
Right.
It all comes
all
back.
90210s everywhere, baby.
No, I do agree though. You know, I don't want to ever see Fifth Element remade, but I don't. Even then, I think if there could have been other actors in that role, and it still would have been good. I think that movie stands on how good it is.
Yeah, I think there's also other movies like The Message. That's done with. Oh gosh, it's that Willem Dafoe movie. There are Willem Dafoe roles that I don't think could be redone. I think the Green Goblin can be redone, but Willem Dafoe, man, who else is going to play Jesus? You tell me there's going to be a better Jesus than Willem Dafoe?
Jim Caviezel. Jim Caviezel is good.
I don't know, man.
Jim Caviezel is good.
He's all right.
Jim Caviezel is good. I'll argue with this.
I think you just like saying the name Jim Caviezel. I think that's all it is. I just gave you the opening for it.
He was good though. I mean, I think we've proven that Merton Riggs probably shouldn't be recast.
Oh, that would be a terrible recast.
It never works.
I mean, terrible recast. I mean, what we wound up with two that just didn't work at all.
No.
Sadly though, I like that first season, but it wasn't Riggs and Murtaugh.
No, it really wasn't. Because it wasn't Riggs.
Right.
And he just wasn't good, and everybody tried to pass him off as good.
And then it turns out that behind the scenes he's a dick. So
AJ says, "Would you guys be cool with a recast of Rocky?" Nope. No. You hush your mouth.
I would.
Nah, I know.
I would.
Can't do it.
I could do that. I could do that. You know why? Rocky 5 is why I could do that.
No, shut up. You're still good.
You stop it. You and your love for that Tommy gun. We are never
I hate Tommy
going to
gun.
be on the same page here. Oh, please. I remember getting you drunk and all you would say is, it's secret and I don't like to tell anyone.
John Wayne's nephew was misunderstood. He should have won that street fight.
He was just being young and impressionable and being used and abused by that promoter.
The son of a bitch. He was so good. I say no. You can't recast.
Could you have another Ivan Drago?
I mean, I feel like you could recast anybody else in those movies, except for Rocky. It's because he continually played throughout them and into the Creed movies.
Someone's gonna do better than motherfucking Carl Weathers as Apollo Creed.
I didn't say that. I did not say that. Don't put words in my mouth. Don't you put words in my mouth.
Hot take.
I will say this. You could have other people in those roles, and I feel like they could be good. I didn't say they would be better.
All right. Being very clear.
Although, back in the day, Charles S. Dutton as Apollo Creed. Boom, got him.
No, because he would have been... Charles S. Dutton would have been better as some sort of George Foreman character spinoff. And George Foreman character spinoff was not an Apollo Creed character. Apollo Creed was more of the Muhammad Ali character.
All right, fine. Shut up. Anyway.
But I would love to see Carl Weathers versus Dutton. That would have been awesome as shit as Apollo Creed versus whatever character they made up for him.
William DeFriend is my Nosferatu, Radar says.
Random Willem Dafoe is such a character within himself. I don't mind if anything he's done ever gets remade.
But it's because he's so weird in his roles.
Right, because he's fucking random as shit.
Nobody's going back, and you are not recasting Streets of Fire. Why? Because everyone worked in Streets of Fire, right down to the shitty manager who's a dick to everyone, played by Rick Moranis, which made no sense for the time. But it worked because it was so outlandish. And then that weird Willem Dafoe fighting with metal sledgehammers against Michael Paré. And you're like, Michael Paré would beat the shit out of this guy. It's the fact that he's so crazy looking that you believe he's still going.
Ooh, I got a fun one for you. This is a personal one, and I'm throwing it out there back to my absolute favorite. I don't know if I would be okay with anyone else doing Starship Troopers.
Oh, I would be okay with them completely just getting rid of that movie.
Because Casper Van Dien did such a fantastic job, as did Denise Richards, Neil Patrick Harris was fantastic. I mean, he was wonderful in that role. Clancy Brown,
3 minutes,
so great. What?
He's in it for 3 minutes.
Yeah, and he's wonderful in it. I mean, you understand the psychics and that there's this whole games and theory division. They give you all that breakdown right there in one character in 3 minutes. So how could you recast that greatness?
The best actor in that movie is Michael Ironside. One.
First and foremost, you're not completely wrong there.
No, he's the best actor in that movie. 100%. Second best actor in that movie is Dina Meyer.
Yeah, Dina Meyer was badass.
She killed
it. She's great. Yeah.
Third
is Clancy Brown or Jake Busey. I will accept both answers.
Clancy Brown was awesome. If we could ever get him on the show, I would definitely just.
God, I want to talk to him just about throwing knives at people's hands.
That's one. That's going to be a tough one when they remake Highlander, because Henry Cavill is going to play Highlander, and I'm cool with it.
Oh well, yeah, you can redo Christopher Lambert. That's fine.
But how do you redo Kurgan? How do you do it?
Can you de-age Clancy Brown and just bring him back?
It's the only way. He was so good in that role.
He's amazing in that role. Forgive me, Father, for I am a worm.
Oh, I love it. You can replace Ramirez. Let's face facts. The Scottish, Egyptian, Spanish
Oh yeah, no.
Men
Look, Sean
for it.
Connery shouldn't have been there in the first place. In fact,
mean,
that I think
I disagree. I believe he should have, but I don't disagree because you're wrong. I disagree because I'm like the only thing that made that movie like so batshit off the wall was this whatever teaching
the
this
Egyptian,
he's
the
an Egyptian
Egyptian
Spanish
Spaniard.
Japanese man who it has a Scottish accent teaching a Scot with a French accent how to be not a Highlander, but an immortal. None of it made sense, and I want
That's
every
kind of the
bit
joy of it, and that's why you watch the second one, and it got worse.
I love the second one. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. Oh my god! I will watch those movies all the way through. All
Here's
the
one
way
for
through
you.
to the source.
Could you ever
to
have
the source, people?
Hey, could you ever have someone other than Robert Beltran in Night of the Comet?
Yeah, you can have everybody. I like how like that one. I'm just like, yeah, I don't care. But but no, you can't have a new Kurgan.
I don't know if you could ever replace Clancy Brown like in Pet Sematary 2. No chance. He's the only man who could deliver the line, bad. No brain, no pain. Like,
well, I did like after seeing that remake of Pet Sematary, let's just hold off. Let's not make any more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly, there's not many roles that I think that you can't switch out. And if they did, I would still give it a chance. Like if they even talked about Indiana Jones with like what's his name, Chris Pratt. I think he'd be a little bit too goofball for it.
I don't think that's fair because I think Jurassic World proved that. I think Jurassic World proved that he's not that goofball and gave him the edgier bit to it. Now he still has jokes, a jokiness to it, but it's not. Second one, he was more goofball-y, okay?
All right.
Yeah. First one, he's adventure, he's a hunter, he's training fucking velociraptors. That's not goofball.
Awesome. He's awesome. I love the character. And he's perfect for Jurassic World. I can't see that character playing Indiana Jones.
Are you also saying that goofballs can't fight Nazis?
No, I'm not saying that. Don't you put those words in my mouth.
Hot take.
I've seen 1941, and I know goofballs can fight Nazis.
It's very true. Jim Belushi was effective.
It's true. You know who you need as an action star and everything? Just old ass James Caan. Just ripping into people. Just be like, you fucking piece of shit. And then
like in Way of the Gun? He was amazing in Way of the Gun. I loved that grizzly old fuck. All right, so here's one for you. The Godfather. Could you redo those?
I don't know why you want to. It's not, I mean, they're good movies.
No, but you have iconic characters from it. I'm not saying that the movies are such that, for the time, they were amazing. What they actually put on screen was great. The sort of details and getting in behind the scenes of the mafia was really cool. But yeah, I think you could have someone other than Marlon Brando.
I don't. All right, here's the thing. I don't think you can. The mafia movies from back in the day take a certain level of grit to the actor bring into that role that I don't see many young actors having in them today. Even the actors.
Sorry to interrupt, but do you think that's one of the reasons Ray Liotta has remained in the status that he has, where he's constantly in those kinds of movies, in those kinds of roles? And I'm not putting him down. The man's amazing. I love Ray Liotta, and most of his movies, even the bad ones, are still great. So I'm kind of curious if that's the direction you see it. Is there anyone who could Channing Tatum be a Ray Liotta?
Oh, God, no. Channing Tatum, I like him in his comedies. And when he pops up, I'm like pleasantly surprised. But no, those are, in my opinion, those are forced badasses in movies.
Okay.
People are passing them off and saying, oh, he's got muscles, so he's an action star.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, no, 100%.
Whereas back in the day, the action stars were like Mel Gibson's a little crazy. We know this.
Charles Bronson's
a little crazy.
Yeah.
Even Bruce Willis has an edge to him.
Charles Bronson, a crazy guy.
Like even like when you look at Stallone, sort of has an edge to him. I think that's why it worked. But Schwarzenegger, no fucking edge. No fucking edge. He was muscles. But you liked it because he was always over the top in his stuff.
Right.
And he was surrounded by really good actors.
And not to mention in Commando, he was a fucking badass. John Matrix was a badass.
Yeah, he became a better actor by that point, especially like True Lies area.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, no, like that's another manufactured big muscle guy.
And that is tough when you're going up against someone like Vernon Wells, another great actor. Love him in those fucking roles.
And I think that's why I say, like Indiana Jones, like Harrison Ford in his role in Han Solo and his role in Indiana Jones, he had a grit to him. He had a swagger that worked, and it made him heroic, but also kind of the bad boy.
Okay.
And I don't see that in a lot of actors today. I don't see them, not young actors, which is what you need to reboot.
Okay, fair.
You know, like Tom Holland is in the new Uncharted movie. I'm excited for it. I think it'll be fun. You're telling me he matches grit with Marky Mark?
Okay.
No.
Firstly,
No.
You're saying that Marky Mark's got grit.
Yeah. The dude was a criminal in real life in South Boston. Like yes. When you see Mark Wahlberg,
yeah, well, okay,
on
but first of all, everyone in South Boston, you have to be a criminal at some point. It's the only way you're allowed to stay on certain streets.
He's a hard asshole. He's a hard asshole who, if he walked in real life, I feel even 5'0" that he is, I feel like people would be like, this dude could kick my ass. Like I just have that feeling like he'll fuck me up. Whereas Tom Holland will never make me feel that way, and that dude is Spider-Man.
So, I mean, that's fair. That's fair, but yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're 100% correct. How do you feel about Hugh Jackman though? Is that just manufactured as well for Wolverine?
Yeah. Yeah, he was good. He did a great job. He's a really good actor, but that dude is the greatest showman. Like, and I love him. He's wonderful. I'm not taking anything away from him. These aren't badass individual human beings. Like Samuel L. Jackson walks into a room. I believe that 70-year-old man can beat my ass.
Yeah, I would too. Absolutely. 100%.
Hugh Jackman.
So you're saying Ryan Reynolds has no grit?
No.
Ryan Reynolds, no grit. No grit.
He is an action star of today. No.
So most of the Canadians, all those action stars, so none of the Canadians have grit. Okay.
But in a good way, because they're Canadian, and Canadians have proven that they're very nice people.
They have kindness, humor, and polish.
Yeah. Americans, not so much.
We have Kevin Costner. We have
Kevin Costner's got a grit to him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Kevin Costner's got grit. Cole Hauser's got grit. We've got people who have grit to them. Then there are ones who don't.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and I feel like the old way, and I'm not saying that needs to come back.
No. I think it's better to be softened and to be honest and to be, open. I think grit, it comes with closing yourself off, from making mistakes, from being hurt and hurting others.
Yeah, and
grit
I think
isn't necessarily something that you really want. It's one of those things that comes with wearing and weathering.
Like perfect example in Star Wars. Harrison Ford, who was a carpenter before he was hired for that movie. Yes, I know he's in other movies before then. Shut up. But like his big takeoff role in Star Wars, and him being plucked as a carpenter and not wanting to act anymore, and then going into it, he had a grit. He was a workman. He was doing his thing. He was jaded in life. He had his issues. But then you got like Mark Hamill, who's great, and I love him. That is a wonder bread man. That dude walks in, and it's like, even when he was threatening as Luke Skywalker, I'm like, yeah, your skills will definitely carry you, but I don't see you having the attitude to win this.
Fair. I think Mickey Rourke's got some grit, if we're going to bring up gritty actors.
Oh my God, that guy's got enough grit to last for like the next 70 years. There's no other actor that has grit compared to him.
Him and Sean Penn. Dadpool brought up Sean Penn 100%. Those two men are the last residual remains of all the grit that Americans have to give.
But he was Spicoli in his first movie.
Exactly.
No grit there. He was a dumbass. And so he's a great actor. He does have a lot of grit, dude. But I mean, that guy has done some shit. And
so do you feel, what about Josh Brolin? Is that more of a manufactured grit?
Yeah, I think he has some grit like we have grit.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
You know, in a sense that's like he was a Goonie.
Yeah.
You know, and he grew up, but like Barbara Streisand's your mom, dude. Like, how much grit you got?
Yeah,
Like,
that's the thing, man. You probably grew up pretty well, would have pretty well handled.
Acting chops, 100%.
Oh, absolutely.
Dude was a believable badass in Thanos. Mm-hmm. But I'm talking about that grit, like that John
Ron
Wayne type
Perlman.
grit. Who?
Ron Perlman.
No, that motherfucker's grit, dude.
Thomas Jane. There's some grit.
I think that's more of a better actor than grit.
Okay, fair. See, I always put him and Aaron Eckhart because I feel like those two were up at the same time. They had a lot of very similar looks. You know, they went back and forth for roles.
There's 3 of them, though. There are 3 of them, and one of them got the shaft. So you had Aaron Eckhart, who probably did the best out of all of them.
I'll agree with that he had the different, most dramatic roles. And
just the Dark Knight alone puts him on like another level, in my opinion.
Fair.
Then you have Thomas Jane, who is a great actor, and I love him.
Amazing.
And then poor Josh Lucas.
Oh, Josh Lucas.
who is like another one that kind of fit that mold.
Yep.
And it didn't go anywhere he wanted it to. And it was so sad because it's like, I like Josh Lucas. Like, he showed up on Yellowstone the first season as the young John Dutton. And I was excited for that. Mm-hmm. But I will tell you, out of all 3, Thomas Jane has The Expanse, ended, whatever. We'll see what happens. He has to go search for a new job. Aaron Eckhart, we haven't heard from him in a long time. I don't even know where the hell he is. Aaron Eckhart, if you have actually become Two-Face, please call us. We would like to interview you.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, between Two-Face and Thank You for Smoking, I feel like those are the last things that pop in my head when I think of Aaron Eckhart.
Nothing for Aaron Eckhart. I don't know where he is. But Josh Lucas is a mainstay as the voice of Home Depot.
Boom.
So, I mean, like, that guy, he is the voice, too.
Nice. He got it from Gene Hackman, then.
Was Gene Hackman the voice of...
Originally, it was Gene Hackman.
Well, he's been retired, so I think Josh Lucas is a good replacement for him.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Gene Hackman was another man with grit, but I think that's too far. He's too old now. Like, it's too much, same with Clint Eastwood. No one's going to say that, oh, no, they don't have grit, but also that's not for a reboot. That's not for moving forward. Well, who's the next wave of actors coming through that would have grit? Like, I feel like if we're going to go, max age would be Thomas Jane, Aaron Eckhart age. I like it. Josh Lucas. Yeah. I like forever now. They're just going to be the thing.
So, not to alarm anybody in 2022, but Gene Hackman is 91 years old. And if you have not seen him in a while,
start doing this again.
If you've not seen him in a while, he's not looking too good. So everybody
now I just have to go watch Crimson Tide and start, screaming.
That's a great movie. Denzel Washington, another guy who's got grit. He has a grit to him. I feel like you have to.
Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo Mortensen. Here's the problem with Viggo Mortensen. Could you say he has a grit? Yeah, but I haven't seen it in his real life. But that guy's an actor. Man, that guy pulls some shit off.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, he's so good. I feel like you had to grow up with some shit. Like, you really had to go through some stuff. Like, Samuel L. Jackson was one of the Black Panthers that like kidnapped Martin Luther King Jr.'s dad. Mm-hmm. Like, that's some grit. And he was 16.
Some illegal activity is what it is.
I mean, it helps.
You could also grow up on a farm. You don't necessarily have to go join a group.
Well, listen, we come from 2 different walks of life. You grew up on a farm. I grew up in a city. I feel like we have some grit to us.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I got no problem going out and working for 15 hours straight. You've seen me do it.
I do. I do not like to be inconvenienced at all.
You, however, my Jersey princess.
Oh my God! Just take me to the shore. I don't want to hear it. Oh my God!
I'm someone who has no problem working 15 hours. Let me say this: I have no problem working 15 hours outside of my house. And when I'm inside of my house, everything goes to shit, and I'm like, I mean, I could fold that laundry and put it away, but it's fine.
See, I'm the guy who works like 15 hours at home. I was like, I don't want to go out. I don't want to do this shit anymore. I'm done. Tom Berenger, grit personified. On that note, I'm going to agree with you and say, yeah, you can't really get much else than Tom Berenger. He was a nut. but I love them. We've gone almost 2 hours and we did not plan on this. So I am going to just say we should probably wrap it up here.
Yeah, agreed.
Because I did not realize the beloved characters was going to take so long. But
beloved characters and then turning into a 45-minute conversation about grit.
Grit.
And now sandpaper. This is this shit, man.
They're going to hate us on the station that we're on.
Yeah.
You have to keep cutting your episodes. I know.
Sorry. Well, this is great. We gave them a double mega. So that way we could be like, hey, now we cut it into 2.
That is true. I could
Grit
do that.
Continue, or beloved characters continued.
Guys, I just want to say thank you all for watching. Remember to go check out thescenesnobs.com. We have links to everything. Please join our Discord. We're building the community there. Geeks. We're having a lot of fun conversations. We're going to start doing watch parties very soon. Casey found Amazon Watch Party, so we're going to start trying to plan for that. So we're going forward with that. So join our Discord. If you're interested in joining or supporting our Patreon, head over there. You get exclusive early access to all of our recorded stuff, and you get ton more. There's a bunch of other stuff, and we're going to be actually adding more to it, so be ready. So with that going on, we appreciate everybody who joined in the conversation tonight in the comments, and anybody who's listening to us afterwards. Again, head over to thescenesnobs.com. There's a lot of fun stuff over there, but you can listen to the end credits for that. Casey, my friend, do you have anything you want to add?
I do. That I love every single one of you, and I appreciate you all. Be kind to yourselves, take care of each other, and have a lot of fun. Try to make it a great one. Thank you for joining us for a little bit, and be well.
That is great advice. Can't add much more to it other than good night, everybody. Thanks for watching and listening, everybody. I'm the Scene Snob, Mick Manhattan. You can check out the Scene Snobs podcast live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel or all podcast platforms afterwards. Also on our YouTube channel, you can check out great shows like Real Combat, the ultimate debate show for movie lovers, mixed movie picks with new recommendations every week, Geek Fest live every Sunday night, and new movie reviews and news all the time. Like and subscribe, and then hit the notification bell so you know when all of our new episodes drop. Thank you so much to all of our amazing Patreon supporters, with whom this would not be possible. They help keep the lights on and support us in such big ways. If you would like to become a supporter on our Patreon and take advantage of all the perks like monthly giveaways, early access, and so much more, head on over to the Scene Snobs Patreon page and just sign up on one of our 2 tiers. Join our awesome community of geeks, movie lovers, and so much more, and join up on our Discord. The Scene Snobs Discord is now live, and you can head over to thescenesnobs.com for links to there and more. The Scene Snobs merch store is now open with original fun designs that are available on all different types of merch and apparel. Check out thescenesnobsmerch.com. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to all of our social media accounts like TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and so many more. We have fun updates, topics, we talk about collectibles, and so much more on there. It's a great time. You can find all of our links to everything on thescenesnobs.com or on our Linktree, which are down in the descriptions below. Thanks again, everyone. Stay tuned and stay geeky. Case, I always feel like that takes way too long. You have to unmute yourself if you want to talk.
Which part, buddy?
I don't know, the whole thing.
I mean, that's fair. Why don't we try to tighten it up? Hey, man, you shoot me a script. I do voices. I don't know if you know that.
Just take that script.
Done.
Do that. Yeah.
I'll do it like the Micro Machines guy.
This is the extras that we give you at the end of our show while we're back. Bye.
Hey.